You always get a little bit nervous when it all goes quiet, don't you? Right, good evening everybody. Welcome to Myton School. A very, very warm welcome. Lovely sort of spring evening for you, and I hope you'll be able to sort of take a little bit of sunshine away with you tonight once you've listened to what I've got to say and my colleagues have got to say about Myton School, and also what some of our students have had to say about their experiences here at Myton School. So, what I'd like to do first of all is just show you some of the students here at Myton School. These are a number of students from last year. These are Year 8 students, but just shows you some of the pleasure, some of the enjoyment they get by being here at our school. That's sort of this year's Year 8 students here. And behind me now, we've got our new crop of Year 7 students. You'd be surprised how many of them volunteered to say, yes, I'll come, I want to help out, I want to do this, I want to help you do this if I can. You may recognise some of these students, you may not, but these are all students currently in Year 7. A number of them you may well recognise. At the bottom you've got our World Book Day presentation at the bottom. See, I'm in one of those. So in a couple of them we sort of raise money for various sort of charities throughout the year. Now, what does it mean coming to Year 7 from your perspective as a Year 6 student? I understand you'll be a little bit nervous. I understand you're a little bit sort of thinking about what's it going to be like. Will it be like my primary school? Oh, it's a big school, big site. Will I make friends? What will the food be like? What will homework be like? What will the lessons be like? And hopefully tonight we will be able to answer your questions that you've got sort of burning inside you. You've been obviously wanted to find out, and hopefully you'll go away tonight with lots of questions that have been answered. So, first of all, introductions. I'm told I shouldn't really introduce Mr. Perry, so I'm not going to introduce Mr. Perry tonight. However, it's that gentleman standing over there. Right, Mr. Perry, our head teacher. We have two deputy heads, Dr. Menezes and Mr. Jones, who's standing over here to my right. We also have lots of staff here. Miss Hawkes, who's our Senko coordinator over here. Clearly myself, Mr. Stone. Mrs. Williams is standing up. Hannah Williams over here is our mental health lead. Miss Fairhurst, our primary health lead. And also the lady outside, who I think is our family liaison lead, who's just showing a few other families into the hall. Come in, come and take some more. Some seating nice on top. Right, so we have a whole wealth of experience in Year 7. We have a specialist team, and I say specialist team, of dedicated Year 7 tutors. When I say dedicated, it's because they're not only are they dedicated to what they do in school, they are dedicated to be form tutors in Year 7. Every single one of these form tutors has been working with me now for 3 years on transition. So I think it's fair to say they know what they're doing, they know the expectations that you will have, they know how you'll be feeling, and they will know through their experience of working with families and working with students what they need to do to help them integrate into our school and make the transition from primary into secondary go that much more smoothly. So, as I said, a specialist team. I'm very, very lucky, actually, heading up this team because I've got two assistant heads as part of the team, Miss Hawkes and Miss Atkins. I'll practice that all afternoon. Clearly it didn't go very well. So I'm very, very lucky. We have lots of experienced staff here as part of my Year 7 team. And what we do as a group is we all work together to make sure that transition for you goes very, very smoothly. So, aims and ethos of the school. I'll give you a second or two just to read that. And I'll read them through with you as well. An inclusive school at the heart of the community. And I make a big push about being a Year 7 community. It's almost like a school within a school from my perspective. And I like to run Year 7 as a mini school so that we are accountable. And I often say to Mr. Perry and Mr. Jones, I say, look, I want Year 7 to be the trailblazers for this school. I want their uniform to be spot on, I want their behaviour to be spot on, and I want us to lead right from the start. So, high expectations of all our students, that goes without saying. Excellent to work hard, behave well, wear their uniform with pride. I often say to them, if you go and buy a certain car or a certain brand of clothing, you buy that because you believe in it, you buy into it. You think, yes, that is what you get when you come to Myton School, you get the Myton brand and uniform is part and parcel of that. And I'm happy to say that all year seven students and students throughout the school wear their uniform with pride. We're all determined to fulfil our vision, highly successful, inclusive school at the heart of our community. That's twice now I've said the word community, because that is what I want you to feel when you leave here, that you are already part of our year 7 community, you're part of Myton School. So we aim for ever-improving academic outcomes, whilst also helping you develop socially, personally, intellectually, and develop as people. So when you leave our school, not only are you leaving with academic qualifications, you're leaving as a rounded person, and you've taken part and you've got yourself involved in everything that we have to offer at our school. So that's sort of a couple of things about our ethos. Right, how the pastoral system works. As I said at the very start, my name is Mr. Stone, I'm head of Year 7, and I will be the port of call for every single morning. I will greet your children as they come into school, and I will more often than not be there at the end of the day, ask them how their day has gone. And I will pop into their lessons, so I'll see how they're getting on. I'll make sure what their interactions are, positive interactions at break time and at lunchtime. And I will make sure that their experience in Year 7 and beyond is second to none. So, as I said, we have a specialist experienced team. As part of being part of the Myton School team, from the pastoral point of view, you will go to your form tutor, one of those 10 sort of photographs I showed at the start of each day for 20 minutes. At the start of each day, currently at 8:35, starts at 8:40 until 9 o'clock when the rest of the curriculum will begin. Now, it's important, this form tutor programme, because we factor in certain things for you. We like to get you involved. We like to make sure that you can build on certain characteristics. And there are 3 characteristics that I, if you like, build Year 7 around. And they are kindness, resilience, and respect. And if you ask any Year 7 student now, and any Year 8 student, hopefully they will tell you those 3 things. They'll be able to describe to you what resilience looks like, what respect looks like, and what kindness looks like. And that fundamentally is what I encourage all our students to buy into. So your form tutor will be your first port of call if you have any concerns about how things are going, if you've got any medical concerns you want to sort of let us know. If there's anything that we need to know in terms of how they are feeling, your form tutor is your first port of call. And over the next sort of 2 or 3 months, you'll be contacted by your new form tutor, and they will set up a meeting with you so you can, 1, meet them, 2, have a chat with them, and 3, hopefully find out who all the other students will be in your form tutor group. So that is how we organise it. So your first port of call is your tutor. We liaise with all different kinds of people here at school. Our Senko coordinator, our curriculum coordinator. We have various people, kind of a wrap-around system for your student come to school, for your children come to school, so that you are happy and your children are happy with the support that they are getting. We understand the last couple of years, 2 years, have not been great. So we are factoring that into when you come to our school. We want your life here at Myton School to be as normal as possible, and for you to thrive and develop and do all the kind of things that you would want to do in any normal environment. So, you've had enough from me. I've got a few words here from some of our students I'd like to share with you.
My name's Daisy and I'm Year 7.
I'm going to turn around.
What can you tell me about being a Year 7 student?
Well, I know that...
Sorry. She'll be really loud now.
She might be really loud. Important that she gets her message across. Brace yourself, everyone.
Hi, my name's Daisy and I'm a Year 7 student.
And what can you tell me about being a Year 7 student, Daisy, please?
Well, I know that I felt very intimidated and it was very nerve-wracking when I first joined, but as time has gone on, I have become a lot more, it feels very more homely. You just know where you're going and what lesson is where, and it's kind of better.
And what makes it feel homely, do you think?
How welcoming everybody is and how the teachers always try to keep their students' best interests at heart. and how the older years always do try to help you if you're lost or need help with something.
Okay, and can you just talk us through your school days, roughly?
I most likely have maths and English. Second period, it's a split period, so you have break in the middle of it, which is half an hour, the same with lunch, which is fourth period, and they're both half an hour.
Okay, where do you go first thing in the morning?
We go to form, which is basically a room for the people like a class, but you go there every single day at the beginning of the day. It's an hour, and how many minutes?
It's 20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes. They help you if you don't have enough stationery, or you don't know where you're going, or if you've lost your timetable, or
Right, what are the 3 things that Mr. Stone pushes quite strongly? I hope you're going to give me the right answer now.
Respect,
Correct?
resilience,
Correct.
kindness.
Thank you. Right, what bit of advice would you give to a new Year 7 student?
Just do not be nervous. It's nothing to be nervous about. Secondary school is like an incredible experience. Always be honest with yourself and other people and push yourself to be the best version of yourself.
Okay, and best thing about school?
Probably hanging out with friends, and obviously you'll make loads of new friends as time goes on. So, friends and friends.
Okay, that's great, thank you.
Hello, my name is Mohammed. I'm a Year 7 student.
Okay, when did you join Myton School, Mohammed?
I joined half-term late in November, and that's because I've been waiting list.
Okay, and what was that like, waiting to come to school?
I was nervous to go to school if I didn't have any friends. I think in a different country.
And how did you settle in? How did students help
I made
you?
some good friends, and they're been very nice.
And what do you like about school particularly now?
I like most of the lessons, especially like PE and computer studies and math.
I thought you were going to say Spanish then, Mohammed.
I like Spanish.
What do you like Spanish?
I like the teacher.
That's a correct answer. Okay. So what's the best thing about being at school now, Mohammed?
It's very fun to play with friends and very fun and even learning with them.
Okay. And what advice would you give to a new student coming to school?
Don't be nervous and try your hardest.
Okay.
Also be respectful.
That's very good bit of advice. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Chloe and I'm currently in Cyber.
All right, Chloe, can you tell a little bit about sort of you coming to sort of Myton School last September?
Well, when I came last September, I was really scared and anxious because none of my friends came to my school who were like I've grown up with, so I was really scared and anxious.
And how do you feel now?
I feel really happy because I met some friends as well.
Okay, and what kind of things you do in form time and how your lessons going?
Well, in form we will normally, like, on Fridays we'll do quizzes and we'll have a very fun time. And then your lessons will start and you'll like walk around and try and find out where you're going.
How many lessons do you have a day?
We have 5 lessons a day and then our lesson, second my lesson, which is around.
Okay, can you tell us a little bit about the canteen and what you do at break and lunchtime?
So at break time we'll go over to the canteen and we'll pick your food and then pay what we do things with them. And then you can sit down in the canopy or in the room.
Okay, and what's the best thing would you say about being at Myton School?
Probably just having a lot of experiences that you never thought you had. Like, I was in school structure and I really liked it.
And what production was that?
That was the Little People Live and Royal.
And had you done anything like that before?
No, well, I did in Canada, but they weren't that big.
Okay, and what advice would you give now to Year 6 students coming into the year in September?
Don't be scared because there's lots of other people who are scared as you are and just enjoy what you have.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name's Ollie and I'm a Year 7 student.
Okay, Ollie, can you tell me a little bit about how you joined last September and how you're feeling about school?
I joined last September and it's been a fun experience. Loads of different activities. And
So, what's form time like for you? What do you do in form?
I
And what's the 10x challenge?
Where we make a bunch of stuff and we sell it, and we only have like a budget of £10 and we can't go over the budget, and there's a certain amount of rules and we can't like change the rules or anything, we've got to stick to them. Like rules and regulations, we can't change the rules.
Okay, so what's the main aim of the 10x challenge then?
The main aim is to raise the most money, and some of it could probably go to charity. Sometimes we can have a full party if we like are really good.
Okay, great. What are your lessons like, Ollie?
My lessons are fun. Sometimes I'm not too keen on the seats and fans, but that's just the way it has to go, I guess. It's just like I like to learn. It's just like you really have to have a great time. If you can interact with your friends and like you can like, play sports and everything.
And what's the food like, would you say?
The food's alright. There are some of my favourites, which
Go on then, what are
hash
they?
browns or the bacon roll, or the donuts that they sometimes do.
Oh, yeah.
They do chocolate milkshakes and everything.
Okay. What would you say your favourite subject is at school?
Favourite subject probably the computer studies, maths, or the
All right. And what advice would you give to a new student coming to school now?
like, don't be scared, just enjoy it. Always try your hardest, and never doubt yourself.
Okay, that's a great bit of advice. Thank you, Ollie. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Hi, my name's Millie and I'm a year 7 student at Myton.
Right, Millie, can you tell me a little bit about life at school, please, for a year 7 student?
Well, at first, you'll obviously feel nervous. It's quite a big step in your life, but honestly don't, because it's honestly such a great experience and you'll love it in a bit right.
Okay, and talk us through one of your days, maybe. How does a day start for you?
Well, we start in form, which is like a place to like socialise with a lot of your friends, and your form tutor is someone you can always go to and talk to if anything happens. And we just do, on Friday we have a Friday quiz, which is quite fun, and we can win merits. So.
And do you like the merit system?
Yeah, I think it's a really good system to reward when you do something good in lessons or abroad.
So what do you get sent home if you do well with merits?
You get, I think it's a postcard or it's a certificate that you get sent home if you get a certain amount of merits, and sometimes you can win like £5 Amazon vouchers if you get a certain amount.
That's correct, well remembered. So, any advice for new year 7 students?
Like I said, just don't be nervous because you'll love it and you'll fit in so well, and everyone here is so welcoming and so kind, so lovely. So just don't be nervous, just enjoy it.
Okay, and the best thing about school for you?
I love I love all the variety of lessons. So we get like food tech, geography, history, and we get to do lots of like on-board stuff within those lessons.
Okay, and what have you made in food tech?
I've made biscuits, I've made spring rolls, and I've made cheesecake.
Wow, fantastic. Right, and one last bit of advice. What would you say to yourself if you were coming to school in September?
Just be yourself and don't try to be anyone else, because you'll make friends either way. So just be yourself.
That's a great bit of advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great time at Myton School.
No, don't wait.
Right, very, very wise words. Looks like the Friday quiz is very, very popular. I can confirm that Year 7 have been awarded the most merit so far this year. They've received the most certificates this year. It's part of a reward system that we have in place for all students throughout the school. As you can see, this was totally unscripted. I asked them on Monday, I said, look, I need some students to come and help me. Would you mind if I recorded you saying a few words about school? So everything they have said is genuine, everything they've said is honest. They weren't holding anything up, they just did it really. Every single one was done on the first take. So this sort of shows what these students think about our school. This sort of demonstrates the kind of students that we want everyone to become eloquent, to be able to express themselves about our school and their school day. So, their school day I'm now going to hand over to
To who?
Miss Atkins, thank you very much, whose name I'm never ever going to forget. All over to you.
Thank you very much. So I've got several roles in school. I am Mrs Atkins. I am importantly a Year 7 tutor. I'm also one of the assistant head teachers responsible for the curriculum. So in terms of the experience that you and what your child is going to get during Year 7, and you may feel as though you are living that experience as well at home, is the students there alluded to quite a lot of the subjects that we already study. We cover the national curriculum at Key Stage 3, but we also cover extended throughout of that, sort of outside of lessons, that real enrichment curriculum, which Mrs Stone's going to talk about further in terms of the extracurricular side of it as well. But we're aware not all students are the same. We are a big school, we've got a large Year 7 group, but we make sure that we are putting students in those right groups, studying those right subjects in order to be able to meet their needs so they become the best versions of themselves. So there are some groups where they're taught mixed ability. There are other groups where they may be set more to do with prior attainment as well. And as the students alluded to, we have the core. Now those subjects in the core, there is absolutely nothing new there, and those are subjects that they are going to be studying right through to the end of Year 11. Yeah, so English, Maths, Science and core PE, the students don't get any choice in, as you would probably expect, right the way through. We have art, drama, music and design technology on a carousel. Within design technology they also get to experience food, resistant materials, graphics, textiles, and all of those are on a carousel, so they get to do projects, a couple of projects a year in each of those subjects. Computer science, languages, almost all our students take Spanish in Year 7. There are a few students who require additional English support, so they may not take a second language. And also life skills, which incorporates PSHE, but also incorporates a whole lot of other stuff as well. So a lot of our is one of our life skills teachers, and they get in some very interesting debates and conversations about what's going on in the world today, debates, etc. So making them those world citizens. And as I mentioned, we also have English Boost, which is part of our offer, as well as lots and lots of mentoring groups, nurture groups, small group activities, all of which we work alongside both within our through our Senko, through our mental health, through our behaviour teams. So there's lots of students having different activities bespoke to them. The big thing is, am I going to get lost going around school? The answer is yes, you are. If you don't, I'll be very, very surprised. But as I just said to a student as they were coming in, the new students find their way around a lot quicker than the new teachers, because the teachers go to their classroom within 2 weeks. The new students know exactly where they're going, and you almost forget, actually, a lot of them within 2 days they've worked out everywhere within school, which is absolutely amazing. They will have done hundreds of steps. Our site is very long, and they will find that they're going from languages at one end of the school back to computer science at the other side of the school, and then back down to maths, pretty much in a day. We do have a 2-week timetable as well, which is, for those of you who don't have older children here, it is a little bit of a different experience. So is it week 1, is it week 2? Lessons on at slightly different times, but they get their timetable, they get copies of their timetable, they have an online version of their timetable. We do everything that we can to make sure that they are set up for the day. And as I say to my Year 7 form, rule 1, whatever you do, don't panic. Everything else we can deal with. We will sort it out, and that is why you see us every single morning in form. We eradicate as much of that as possible. But you'll get further information about sort of the curriculum as we go along, but just to give you a brief little overview. Okay? Thank you. And Back to Mrs. Stone.
Yeah, extracurricular. Very, very proud of what we do at our school in terms of extracurricular activities. Mr. Pastoral, as you can see, our lead of personal and character development of students. He will organise lots of events throughout the school year, be it forest schools. We have a sort of an area of land towards the back of our AstroTurf in our site, where there's lots of sort of activities out there. They'll make bird boxes, they'll sort of go out there and do lots of discovery events and really sort of get back to nature. We have an Into the Woods trip, which is where you go off for 2 nights and you sleep under canvas, under the stars, and you leave your phones totally out of the way. And you do lots of different sort of exciting activities, like you'll make campfires, you'll cook your own food, you'll maybe have marshmallows around a campfire, you'll sing some songs, you'll play lots of games that maybe your parents and carers sort of used to play when they were younger, or maybe your grandparents used to play when they were younger. Really sort of getting away from technology and really investing in the countryside. We have other things too. A roller disco started this year, very, very popular event with our Year 7 and our Year 8 students, which take place in our sports centre. We do community-based events. A couple of weeks ago, last Friday, we had Red Nose Day. The week before that, we had Non-Uniform Day to raise money for Ukraine. We sort of celebrate national events as well as they sort of come throughout the year. So it's very much part of our community. A range of sports clubs. You've only got to look at the sports fields we have here to see how great we are in terms of the football pitches, the rugby pitches, the athletics sort of pitch that we have towards the end of the summer term. The sports centre, a great resource for us. We have an AstroTurf, which once again is a great resource for us, which you will use not only in PE, but hopefully as we progress after Easter, sort of for our current year students, they will use that at a break time and a lunchtime. Hopefully that will be the same in September. A range of sports, as I said. Film club, we have 50 things. I know Ollie mentioned the 10x challenge, and the 50 things is a similar kind of thing. We challenge students to do 50 things that maybe they wouldn't necessarily do. It might be learn 10 words in a different foreign language. It might be to go and volunteer in the community. It might be help recycle. And these things we ask students to do and say, right, take part, have a go, and see if you can take part in this 50 things challenge. We have the farm. We're based in Stratford. A number of our students go out there 1 day a week. Clearly, we can't take everybody, but we will sort of look at students we want to take on that particular trip. We have a gardening club. I'm a very, very keen gardener. I don't know if you are, maybe your parents and carers are, or your grandparents are. A great gardening club here. Make sure you get involved. You can grow some vegetables, you can grow some flowers. You can see how nurturing something really sort of does develop you as a person. So we've got lots of things, too many really for me to mention here, but there are lots of things that I'd like you to get involved with when you come to Myton School or when your children come to Myton School. So lots for you to think about. Now, how we support you, I'm now going to hand over to Miss Hawkes, who is our Senko. I'm glad I got the name right. Sorry, Miss Hawkes. Right, over to you, Miss Hawkes.
I won't take it personally, it's fine. Hello everyone, my name is Amy Hawkes and I'm the Senko at Myton. My role within school is a big part of it is related to transition and about getting to know all of you lot. There's 288 of you roughly in your year group, going to be starting in September. And our role alongside Miss Fairhurst, who's visiting schools at the moment, is to get to know you, to provide that additional support. So what we're doing at the moment is getting to know you and your families. And that starts today with this event, and we're running another one at 5:30 today. And we're going to meet 175 families this evening, which is a real pleasure for us to be able to do that. We're starting this much earlier than we normally would do because, to be honest, for the last 2 years we haven't been able to get everyone together in a room. So it's just so nice to see people in real life rather than on a little screen. We want you to get to feel that this school is yours now. You belong to Myton. You're not on roll yet, but you are part of our community. You are going to start to see a lot of us. You're going to see a lot of Mrs. Fairhurst in your schools on a regular basis. You're going to start to be able to visit whenever you need to this school site, so it becomes your place. We want you to also become familiar with who people are. I know lots of people like saying that Mr. Stone might be Mr. Perry. He's definitely not, but you need to get to know who your key staff are so you feel safe and secure in knowing who people are. And what we do as part of this is we have additional visits, and I'm going to talk about what our transition programme looks like over the next few months. It's really important that you get to know us and we can build that relationship and you feel that you know us as people to work with, and that happens by getting to know us on the school site. There's going to be a lot of opportunities to get to meet my team. We have a team of 16 teaching assistants. We have mental health support. We have pastoral support. We have a wide pastoral group of people who are working with young people all the time. And what will also happen is an opportunity for you to share learning experiences. What's primary school has been like, what it is you might be concerned about when it comes to learning. It's important that you have that opportunity to share that with us. It's really important. And the huge aspect of that time will be focusing on possible anxiety about school. Like Daisy, that first person in my is in my form, the first person who was speaking, who was terrified on day one, and by the Friday of the first week went, I'm absolutely shattered, but I'm fine now. It's all good, no problem at all. I'm okay now, miss. Now, on this picture here, randomly to represent SEN at Myton, is a picture of a very small dog. That is Willow, our school dog. You will get to meet Willow on lots of different occasions. She's a big part of our school and you'll get to see a lot of her. I'm going to hand over now to talk with Miss Williams, and then I'm going to come back to talk about transition events.
Thank you everybody, good afternoon. My name is Mrs Williams, and as Miss Hawke says, I'm the mental health lead, and I always say that I've got the best job in the school because I get to spend my time talking to lots of students and listening to them, and I don't even have to teach them anything. How lucky am I? So I'm just going to talk you through a little bit about how we take care of our mental health at Myton, because we believe it's as important as taking care of your body, and how you as parents and carers as well can support your child's mental health through this time of change that is transition. Because during any period of change, it is important that children are able to talk about how they feel about it and to talk about their worries with a trusted adult. That's really important, and I'm sure those of us grown-ups in the room who've changed jobs or had to move to a different area, we've felt nervous, we've felt worried, and sometimes we've needed to talk about that. But rather than saying, there's nothing to worry about, it's fine, which I've certainly said that to my daughter when she's been worried about things, and then thought afterwards, well actually there is something to worry about because she's worried. It's very tempting as parents and carers to do that, to go, don't worry, just don't worry. The problem with that is it shuts down the conversation a little bit, and it misses an opportunity to talk about what those worries are, because they might be very practical things that you can do something about, or you can ask us and we can give you some reassurance and tell you what to expect. And it's really important that you all understand it's normal to feel worried about coming to a new school. It's completely normal. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Everybody feels worried. Most of us don't like change. Most of us find that really difficult. But it's good for you to adapt to new situations. You know, Mr. Stone talked about resilience, which means being able to bounce back from things that are difficult. And having experiences like coming to a new school and getting to know new people, that's what makes you more resilient, and that will give you skills that you need to go through life and be successful. So another thing I wanted to say is that it takes time to feel settled in a new school, and that's okay. Some of you will skip through the gates on the first day and you won't give it a second thought and you'll be absolutely fine. Others of you might take a bit longer because we're all different, and that is okay. It's okay if it takes time to find a friendship group that you gel with. It's okay if it takes time for you to find your way around and to get used to all your teachers and remember all the names and the new rules. Nobody is expecting you to be comfortable and confident straight away, and we know that you're going to need reminders and you're going to need support. That's okay. So one of the things that parents and carers can do to help your young people prepare for transition is, if you haven't already, start taking some small age-appropriate steps to promote independence now. So for example, if one of the big worries is about getting lost, which we've talked about, and I definitely got lost when I started here, and occasionally still do. So perhaps next time you go somewhere as a family that is unfamiliar, you might say to your young person, right, when we get out of the car or when we get off the bus, I want you to take note of which way we're going, because when we go back, you're going to tell me which way we're going to go. Just encourage them, instead of kind of following you, to think a little bit and develop that sense of direction. Things like ordering your own food if you go to a cafe or talking to people in shops, just to kind of build that confidence, because your child, if they go to a small primary school, might be used to a very small number of adults and communicating with those adults. And it's just little things like that that can build confidence now, so that when they come in September, it doesn't feel quite so overwhelming. A really important thing to say is that although most of you will manage your transition completely successfully and you won't have a problem making friends, you'll find your people and it'll be fine, if you do struggle, if you are worried about anything in school or at home, or maybe there are other things going on right now that you think might impact on your transition, there is a lot of support available. Our philosophy here is very much that if you as a family are going through something, we want to know about it, because then we can help. This school has invested really heavily in the mental health and well-being of young people. We are very fortunate. We've got a counselling service. We've got a nurture room that runs a series of group programmes around social skills, managing emotions. We've got staff trained in drawing and talking therapy, Lego therapy, art therapy. We've got the mental health in schools team who come in and deliver cognitive behavioural therapy for children who need help with managing worries. We've got lots and lots of different ways that we can support you, because we're all different and we all need different kinds of help. So please do let us know. Use the additional information forms out there for the additional, what is it, additional, that's the one, on the tables, if there's anything that you want to tell us about that you think we need to know before your child comes here, so that we can make sure that that support is in place. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As part of getting to know us and you getting to know the school, we are going to be running some additional transition events. Now I realise I've got to look into that camera and read what's behind me, which is going to be difficult. What we are planning to do is host some additional visits over the next few weeks and months. We're going to be repeating this whole event straight after Easter. So if you've got friends and family who've said, I couldn't make it this evening, but I really want to be part of it, please can you let them know we will be redoing the exact same thing after Easter. Our plan would be that we are going to hold 3 events. So if you would like to visit us because you come from a small primary school, so we'll have some people who are just an individual person coming from a primary school or a small setting, come and visit us. Or if you would like to talk about additional needs, or if you feel your child would benefit from an extra visit, we're holding 3 sessions in May and early June, and they're going to be 3:30 till 4:30. So straight after school, come in, meet us, have a tour, look at the school in more detail. We're then going to also hold some pre-visits for students where we identify that from the visits we've done that it'd be a really good idea for you to come in. They're called Fish and Chip Fridays. It involves fish and chips and it takes place on a Friday. Life's good. Come and see the school in more detail. We're going to have full transition day, proper transition day, as we would do a couple of years ago, everybody on site, spending a day with your new tutor group, meeting people, meeting your tutor at that time. We will also be holding Meet the Tutor events, so meeting them online and having opportunities to visit school as well with your tutor team. And also Mrs Fairhurst is doing a range of visits and she'll explain what that role involves in a moment. We would like you to book up, if you would like, for those first 3 in May, we would like you to fill in a form that's outside. We will keep hold of that and you can add in any additional information that you think would be relevant. But we would really like to get to know families now and for you to come and visit us as much as you would like to. I'm going to hand over to Miss Fairhurst, who's going to talk about her role in primary school visits.
I'm very aware of the time now, I'm like high speeder. I just wanted to say hello. I recognise some faces already. I'm not very good at names yet, I do apologise. But my name is Mrs Best and I'm going into primary schools. I've already started to go into all of the main schools. I'm learning, I now know how to applique after being in All Saints. I know a little bit about life drawing, now I've been to Coat and End. But my job, we've already said the school is really, really big. My job is kind of to make it seem a little bit smaller. So I'm going to be coming in a lot. I'm going to be coming in, I'm going to be giving you a taste of what secondary school lessons are like. I'm going to be that person, you know when you go, oh, I really wish I'd have asked that. The next time I come in, I'm that person for you to ask, to hopefully ease that anxiety and make you feel a little bit better. I'll be on the playground, so I'll be able to meet some of your parents, although I think a lot of Year 6s walk home on their own. So I stood on the playground, I was like, oh, okay, go with that. But if anybody needs anything, I'm going to be, in a lot of the primary schools. So please just come and say hi. And I'm part of the Year 7 transition team, so you might end up being in my form. So we will win the 10X challenge and the quiz.
We'll
That's
see.
it. We'll see. Yeah. Thank you.
So there's a form outside. If you would like to fill that in, there's going to be lots of people and pens and surfaces to write on. You're very welcome to add in that you would like to come and visit us for additional visits. Our colleagues are just going out now to set that up. I'll hand over to Mr. Stone.
Yeah, just a big thank you from me. So I said at the very start, a lovely sort of spring evening. I hope that we've managed to sort of bring a little bit of sunshine to you this evening. You can take off, think, yeah, I feel a little bit more confident about coming to school in Myton in September. You are now part of our family, part of our community, and we want to reach out to you to make sure that you feel really, really welcome. So on everyone's behalf, thank you all very, very much indeed for coming. Thank you.